Signature weapons. We all know and love them. Falchion, Bloodberry, Scarborough, the list goes on and on. Sometimes a weapon is key to making a character memorable in a video game. These weapons are integral to character identity and can make or break these icons sometimes. So how does Zenless go about designing their characters' signature weapons and making them memorable? Well, from a visual standpoint, I'd say that they did a good job. It's not every day that you get to see a bear wielding a massive construction pillar or a construction worker from the same faction gluing a drill to his arm. Boots that jet out blades from underneath them isn't something that I've seen since the last Batman movie I saw, but it sure as hell works for this rat. They gave a charge blade to a twink, dual blades and a bow to another twink, a naginata that has the ability to stop time. Wait, that's two twinks too many. Something ain't right here. They turned an amputee into one of the sickest fighting styles in this game. There's a little girl that uses a giant buster flag. Nicole shoots cancer orbs from her briefcase. I'm sure you get my point by now, but this video sadly isn't about the designs of these weapons. It's about the designs of these weapons. I know, but I promise that this video isn't only full of complaining this time, I swear. Today we're going to be looking into the wacky design and thought process behind some of the WEngines in ZZZ. Hello everyone. My name is Rune, but before we get started, I do have a small announcement to make. I've officially reopened my Discord server to the public. My Discord is a place for you to meet my lovely community and get the help you need to get you through that endgame content you've been struggling on. If you have any ZZZ related questions or just need a chill, furry, and LGBT friendly space to be in, then the new Eridu Lunar Bazaar is the place to be. Feel free to join up and hang out by clicking the link below. Anyways, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing afterwards. Without further ado, let's get into it. Also, major opinion warning, this video has my opinions. Feel free to disagree with them if you want to, respectfully in the comments and all that. So yeah, anyways. Oh my days, dude. Some of these are just straight up dog water, but I'm gonna highlight some of the good WEngines first to get the government mandated positivity out of the way so that you guys aren't in my comments complaining that I'm negative all the time. There's no particular reason why you shouldn't have at least one of these things built to level 60. If I could have 3 rank 5 versions of these for my Sukaku and Astra, I would. Its uptime is amazing and the way you get the buff online is very easy too. Incredibly good WEngine. Probably the best standard WEngine in the game. Literally any starter can make use of it, not talking about you. Free regen, 20% impact increase, need I say more? The second best standard WEngine in my opinion. This is like your bread and butter, your go-to even. Something you can't go wrong with every now and then. Oh, if this weapon didn't have its restriction. Oh, if this weapon did not have its restriction. Oh, and I guess the main stat attack percent is kind of yucky too, but it makes up for it with its effect here. Jesus. I'm in full belief that they need to rerun this event again so that people can grab this WEngine. Forget the 2.0 selector, put this shit in Box Galaxy. Matter of fact, make every A rank signature craftable in Box Galaxy. You've got a whole area of the game that people are forgetting about that's not being utilized to its fullest potential. Speaking of, do you guys still eat the ramen meals for buffs or completely forgot that you can do that like I did? Let me know in the comments. Ah yes, the Battle Pass WEngines. For the small price of $10, you can snag yourself one of these bad boys. Let's see, we have an engine that requires you to get hit to activate its effect, the equivalent of Street Superstar but for stun agents, a flashlight, and oh, that's actually not that bad. Wait, this one's not that bad either. Okay, what does Yishuan get for $10? Sure? I feel like this is a standard A-rank WEngine and not a $10 WEngine. Arguably, I think I've gotten more value out of the $1 I spent on Nicole's engine way back in 1.0 compared to this. Wait a sec, please tell me the standard A-rank rupture option isn't better than this? Oh, come on! Okay, I'm glad that Yishuan has a free-to-play option, but it's... Dude, look, the Battle Pass WEngine is fine. It's an alt-specific WEngine, but you're only gaining 240 sheer force from this. I don't think anybody should spend $10 for a roughly 10% damage increase when they can just craft a better weapon for free. Please, if you don't have the birdcage, just make the puzzle spear at Box Galaxy. It's way better. Alright, that's all the engines that I think are good and the Battle Pass ones out of the way. Now it's time for my favorite part of the video, highlighting the worst of the worst WEngines in this game. Oh, I've been waiting for this one. The only reason I have this weapon is because I wanted the purple hair on Astra. But other than that, this is by far the worst limited character weapon I've seen in gacha history. You have to do anything that isn't attacking or dodging to get this buff online, and then after that, you have to wait for Astra to consume enough energy to proc this buff. You know how much max energy is in this game? 120. You have to wait for Astra to consume just about half of that energy in order to activate this effect. What's the reward for wasting 50 energy on this thing? 20% more damage dealt. No attack buffs, no crit damage buffs, no energy regen. You get a measly 20% more damage dealt, which requires you to wait for Astra to consume nearly half of her energy meter to get the full buff for this effect. And yeah, the buff is good, but when you compare it to a literal A rank option like Kaboom or Bashful, there's virtually no reason to pull for this thing if you got extra copies of those engines lying around. Astra can do just fine on a fully maxed out Kaboom compared to spending your money on getting this. Not to mention, the scaling for the extra copies of this thing is terrible too. When you max out Elegant Vanity, you go from gaining 5 energy from the requirement to gaining, get this, 7 energy. Ooh. Granted, you go from 20% more damage dealt to 32%, which is a nice jump, but it still doesn't change the fact that this engine is just bait for newer players. I genuinely don't know how they made a stunner character's best in slot weapon not even his own. And I'm not talking about some premium substitute. I mean this when I say this. You're better off giving this dog steam oven than investing into this engine for him. And I get it. He's a basic attack stunner, so this effect makes sense. The problem is that it only benefits his basic attacks and literally nothing else in his kit. An S rank option outclassed by another A rank simply because it has a moveset specific buff instead of a general impact buff. Oh, it's another engine that requires you to get hit. But this time the effect itself is actually quite nice. Too bad it's virtually useless during the most important phase of the fight. This one just has straight up no impact buff. This one doesn't benefit the entire team or carry over to the shielded unit from his quick assist. And this one is just, oh, wow, this is probably the best one out of the get hit to gain effect engines. This would ideally be Caesar's best free-to-play weapon if you don't have Tusk of Fury. Speaking of, I am well aware that this weapon is good, but I still stand by my point that you should never pull a limited character's weapon for a 4-star unit, even if it makes them slightly better. The only saving grace about this weapon is the fact that it's just a buffing dildo. The effects are so generalistic that theoretically no one should be upset at this, right? Kinda like Protopunk in this case. And just to be clear, I'm not mad at this effect or think that this W engine is bad. I just think that pulling it to make a mediocre tank slightly better is not something that I think is worth wasting polychromes on, especially considering that there's a chance that you lose the 75-25 too. Just please keep this engine on Caesar and only Caesar. Alright, I think that's it for now. We can wrap this up and go on about our day, shall we? Where do you think you're going? You thought I forgot about you, huh? This sorry excuse for a music player is the real projector. And it is by far the worst weapon in a gacha game that I've ever laid my eyes upon. Its main stat is impact, which is actually pretty good. But then you look at the rest of this weapon's effect. When a squad member's HP is greater than or equal to 50%, they take 12% less damage and 16% less miasma contamination. Only one instance of this effect can exist in the same squad. Mind you, it's physically impossible to get duplicates of this weapon, by the way. This W engine makes Soul Rock look like Woodpecker. Damage reduction, whatever, that's fine, right? But miasma contamination? Are we serious? Battles in this game don't last long enough for miasma to be an issue, even for the less skilled players. Oh, but what if the bar gets too full? Boo! Who? Your characters are sitting at around 8 to 10k health. Miasma isn't going to do shit but take about 700 HP away from them. And even then, the worst players in the game will eventually move out of the way or press a dodge button at some point. So the effect on this is actually worthless. The only scenario where I can see someone using this on Pan, Ben, Seth, or Caesar is if they are frontlining with them as a makeshift stunner and they literally do not have any other options. Doing this on Pan is an instant DPS loss. Caesar would only want this for the main stat, Seth's shield is enough to protect you from miasma's damage to begin with, and you can argue the same thing for Ben too. So ultimately, you have a 15% impact dildo with virtually no effect if you have even so much as a modicum of an idea on how to evade attacks in action games. Jesus, don't invest in this weapon, please. Save your Denny's. Oh my goodness, this weapon is so freaking bad. They decided to run this instead of rerunning Mikado, by the way. So, after reviewing all these W engines, you might be asking what's my verdict on all of these that I reviewed here. And to that I say, just put the correct WEngines on these characters. Please don't waste your time, resources, or energy trying to make other WEngines work. Work with what you have free to play and ask around for help, but please just try to pull for the correct WEngines and try your hardest to make sure that you're investing into your account in a horizontal ladder rather than vertically. If you do this and make sure that all of your characters' WEngines are at least level 60, then I promise you that you'll be able to clear your endgame content easily. And that's the video. Bit of a shorter, rambly one today, but I did have this idea in the back of my head for a while, so I did want to put this video out for y'all. I am going to start doing guides on how to deal with the boss enemies in Zenless Zone Zero, since it's something that I feel a lot of players are struggling with, and there's no dedicated guide for beating these enemies out there. So look forward to that in the future. As always, big thank you to all of my YouTube channel members. Members get access to my videos a day early and an exclusive role in my Discord. And if you want to support me directly, consider buying me a coffee. It helps keep me well fed and gives me the motivation to continue doing these videos. That's all from me for now, so I've got to get working on the next one. As always, I'll catch you guys later. Bye-bye.